Athlete principles of training are absolutely essential. Understanding how to formulate your own training program, as well as how formulating a program for those you coach. Here's what you'll learn: how to design, how to individualize, and understanding athletes. Okay? The whole goal, of course, is to have them train to their potential. Here's the first principle. It's called the purpose principle. And what does that mean? You got to know how to design training based on scientific information. You don't have to be a scientist, but it is very helpful to have at least a rudimentary foundation in science, exercise science, as well as sports psychology. Really is a big deal. The purpose principle requires you to explain the workouts that you're going to assign to other athletes and be able to explain it to yourself. If you could talk to yourself in the mirror, why am I doing this workout? Not just because it's tradition, just because it seems hard, and just because the group that I join is doing it. Maybe you shouldn't join the group if they're doing a workout that's not good for you. Okay? I know you love the social engagement, but it may be just brutalizing your body. Okay? And the purpose principle requires you to monitor, assess, evaluate, and adjust the workouts. Okay? Have a purpose for what you're doing. Okay? Let's go on to the next principle, individualization. You individualize the workouts based on skill level, first and foremost, their fitness level, and finally, the muscle fiber type. As I mentioned earlier in previous discussions, you don't peak an athlete, all athletes on the team the same. The ones who have the slow twitch muscle fibers thrive on volume. They need distance running. You take away their distance running, they fall apart. And you cannot take it away too early. If they're at the other extreme, they're super speedy over the 400 or 40 meters to 400 meters, they probably need a longer taper as part of their peaking process. Know the fiber type. Progression principle. Remember to adjust training volume and intensity gradually. Right? 5 or 10% per week is plenty. Plenty. I like adding no more than 30 minutes to the training volume per week, and no more than 90 minutes in a given month. Okay? There's some caveats. What if they had zero training before? Okay, yeah, you can add more than 30 minutes in the first week. Maybe they're doing 5 runs of 10 or 15 minutes, and that's more than 30, you know. But once they're pretty much to a reasonably stable level, let's say you've having them run 30 miles a week, and at their particular pace, that's, you know, let's say that's 200 minutes of training. Well, the next week they can go to 230 minutes of training, which means basically you added a 3.5 or 4 mile run to their training schedule the second week. If that went well the next week, then you can add another 30 minutes. You know, why do I go by minutes? Because it's far more practical and is really, from a scientific point of view, far more effective. If I say to Sam Parsons, an elite runner, add 30 minutes, you know, and it'll be an easy run, well, he's going to add more than somebody who's Joe Schmo, who's far slower at race distance than he is. Joe Schmo might end up adding 3 miles, but Sam added 4.5 in 30 minutes, and it's appropriate. Both are appropriate. All right, progression principle. What else? Remember to retain whatever you've worked on. Don't get rid of it. If you built up long runs, don't get rid of it because now we're in the interval phase. You don't need long runs anymore. No, if you build it up, keep it. All right? Maybe you do it every other week. Maybe you do 1 week normal length long run, and the next week 80% as long because you're racing more and working on other stuff. If you put in CV work and build it up over time, don't get rid of it now that their stamina is super high. If you like doing tempo runs because it's super effective, right? And you do it for 6 weeks. Don't get rid of it all of a sudden because you're in the intervals phase. Now you can't do tempos anymore. No, retain it, right? Maybe in a smaller amount, maybe less frequently, but continue to have it in your training cycles. Next principle is called the modulation principle, and that means you need to be sure to vary the training loads of your workouts. Some should be a little bit more aggressive, some should be moderate, and some should purposely be light. They shouldn't all be brutally hard. Vary them. If you were a teacher, you would focus on effort foremost. If you focus on effort, then you can be successful, whether it is an individual or a person in charge of other people. Because effort is under your control, right? You can feel proud of yourself for the effort you've invested. Focus on strategies. This is a great part of improvement, right? Better strategies yield better success, right? That's why adding in critical velocity training is far better than hammering a bunch of goal-paced intervals week after week, which is fine for 3 weeks, but the 4th week you get tired, and the 5th week you get injured or fatigued, and by the 6th or 7th week you're getting worse, right? Have better strategies. One of the strategies might be spacing the workouts. One of the strategies might be cycling the workouts in a 2-week cycle so that all kinds of training are included. One of the better strategies might be making sure you have 3 days between really hard workouts, not just 2 days. One strategy might be, after I do a long run that's really tiring, I make sure and I go to the pool afterwards and do therapeutic intervention. Because water recovery helps get rid of muscle soreness. Maybe I go take a bath, all right? And rub my quads and get this swelling out of them. Maybe I elevate my legs. Maybe I rub arnica gel in, which is a homeopathic, gets rid of swelling. Okay? A better strategy will yield better results. And P of the ESP formula is practice. You need lots of it, so start early. Develop skill. Don't wait to introduce something. Expect that it'll take longer to develop the skill than you realize. Expect that you'll have setbacks. Expect that you might have to start over with a new strategy because it just didn't work. But don't wait till the last minute to introduce a certain type of training and expect it to yield magic results that'll help your 5K or marathon performance or whatever. Okay? ESP, effort, strategies, and practice. Use it or lose it principle means that you need